All right. Seahawks went out there today and got the win in Atlanta, moved to 6-2. But if you think I'm gonna let some of the stuff I saw out there slide without me bitching about it, you don't know whose channel you're watching because there was some stuff out there today that was not okay, and we should not have let that team back into this game the way that we did. We should not have had to worry about covering the point spread at the end of this game, and we ended up not covering it actually. So I mean, I can say this. There are some really good players on this offense that are really carrying this team right now. And that first half, I mean, really mostly the second quarter, we saw it. Special stuff. Wilson, for the little that he really got to play in this game, monster effort from him. Carson, he had a good game. Late on, we were just kind of running him into the pile, and it really brought his overall numbers down. But Carson played great. Penny played a good game too. Penny, haven't seen him make a contribution to this team in a while, but I saw some very nice things from him. Lockett, it's the usual suspects, right? Like there are certain guys on this offense that are just elevating us to a point where we have a chance to win every game and where we can put ourselves in position to make sure that we get the win against lesser teams. You know, Lockett is one of them, obviously. Lockett had one of the best games I've ever seen him play. 6 catches on 6 targets, 100 yards. He had a catch taken back on an offensive pass interference penalty as well. He did have a drop that would have been come back on a holding penalty anyway, I think. So, you know, big effort from him. DK Metcalf, not a huge game, but he did haul in 2 touchdowns. He dropped a touchdown, but came back later on the drive and snagged one anyway. We didn't take any shots with him, which is something that, you know, it's so frustrating. It really feels like DK Metcalf is the kind of guy that you want to air the ball out to a few times a game, kind of like the Vikings did with Randy Moss when he was a rookie, but it's not happening. Today, we only really got to see the offense for about a half, though, so I kind of understand that things are not going to be explosive in the stat sheet when it's 24-0 at half, and then your offense just kind of packs it in. So, yeah, the usual suspects on offense got us out to that 24-0 lead that we ended up holding throughout the entire second half. But that's kind of where the positives stop because sobering news today. Justin Britt looks like he's going to be done for the season, starting center for the last several years for these Seahawks. This was probably his last year in Seattle, and we have probably seen his final start as a Seahawk with today's game in Atlanta. So super bummer because he was still a decent player. He wasn't great. He wasn't even really good anymore, but he was decent. He held it together. And when he went out, you guys saw it. You guys saw what our offense turned into, where it was productive because Wilson is Superman and Carson and Penny are played good. And, you know, it was productive, but the offensive line looked like a little bit of a hot mess out there after, especially in the second half, but even earlier in that game, man. The offensive line, which was already coming into this game with a lot of question marks, it's not looking good right now for those guys. And I'm going to say it right now, we need to make a trade or go get a new center. We need somebody because I don't think Joey Hunt is the guy. I like Joey Hunt, but I don't want him to play, you know, 70 snaps a game. And right now we have nobody else on this roster until Posick gets back who can play center. So devastating news for this offense. And the fear I have is that the offensive line you saw for most of this game is going to be the offensive line that we have for the rest of the season because those guys, it just seems like it's not coming together like Dwayne Brown was fantasizing that it might. And even though Wilson only got sacked twice in this game, I saw some very messy protection in this game that Wilson just was able to get out of. I saw some busted run blocking that Carson and Penny were able to make something happen out of. And that is depressing. It feels like it lowers the ceiling on this team because I had some faith that this offensive line was going to come together by the end of the season and play really well, but Britt was part of that plan. and now he cannot be. So offense is a mixed bag, but this defense, I mean, we won this game. I know that the team kind of slept walk through that second half, but I cannot help but be pissed about the way this defense played throughout most of this game, especially in the second half. And it's a pointless gesture because we're 6-2 and we can still win this division. We can still have a first round bye. We can still do this and do that. Ken Norton Jr. really needs to go yesterday. I'm going to say it. I don't care that we ended up winning this game. Giving up 500 yards to an offense that was missing James Carpenter and especially Matt Ryan is highly unacceptable. 500 yards. And you cannot tell me it was all because we had a big lead, because they moved the ball on us in the first half. Every time they needed a play, it seemed like they could scheme a wide receiver being covered by a linebacker. And then our linebackers just get toasted by players who are just much faster and more athletic than them. So it's really time, whoever it is who's responsible for this 3 linebacker nonsense. I know today was tough. Okay, no Trey Flowers. That was that put us behind the 8 ball. I get that, but it's just complete nonsense how we keep trotting out linebackers to try to cover Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley and even like Russell Gage or Justin Hardy. It's not. It is so frustrating to see teams, opposing offenses, just they can kind of scheme whatever they want to against this fucking defense because we just keep putting linebackers out there and ask them to cover receivers. It's Ken Norton needs to be left in Atlanta. I am super done with the guy. 500 yards against Matt Schaub is highly unacceptable. I know we were playing in a dome. I know we had the 24-point lead at half. Highly unacceptable. Time for him to go. I don't want to hear any shit from Pete Carroll about how, oh, I got faith in my guy. He's going to figure it out. How many times did we hear that shit with Tom Cable, and where did it get us? And I honestly think Tom Cable would still have his job in Seattle if not for that Rams game 2 years ago where they beat us by 5 touchdowns in the clink. So I don't have any faith that anything's going to happen because I have every reason to believe that Pete Carroll clings on to his yes men coaches for way too long. But it is beyond time for Ken Norton Jr. to get out of here because right now this defense, which look, today the pass rush was there. We got a couple sacks on Schaub, got a ton of pressures on him. Clowney had a monster game getting to the quarterback. He was wrecking fools on the offensive line. Anza made some plays in the pass rush as well. We got to Schaub plenty, but he was able to find open receivers before. He was able to find quick outlets for big plays. The screen passes to Freeman, just killing us over and over again. I mean, just they abused us with those little screens. Julio Jones abused us. Now he's going to abuse a lot of people out there, so I'm not too triggered about that, but I can be triggered about the fact that we keep putting linebackers on these fucking guys. Julio Jones might be the best receiver in the whole league right now. He's at least top 3. We cannot be putting linebackers on that dude. We can't put linebackers on Calvin Ridley. That's really my hang up with this team right now, guys. I don't think that this team can get to a really good place as long as Ken Norton has the job because he's doing something that is leading to us just having mismatches in coverage constantly. And I don't see any other team in the league doing that shit. So it's really time for him to get the hell out of here. Tackling today was better. I will say that. The run defense was solid. We gave up maybe 2 or 3 big runs the whole game. Other than that, they played good. Like I said, Clowney had a monster game. The 3 offsides penalties are going to... That's a problem. It's a problem with coaching as much as it is the players, because on one of those he lined up offsides, which, what the hell is that? That really drove me nuts because that was a big play that he lined up offsides on. But yeah. I mean, this defense, man, it's official. I know we were missing guys today. I know Trey Flowers being out hurt because Akeem King is trash, but this defensive coordinator, this defensive philosophy, it needs to go. So I'm crossing my fingers that we get Trey Flowers back and we can start putting three cornerbacks out there because that's just the way you have to play in this NFL, and it seems like we're the last people to figure it out. Shout out to Kendricks for, he made a play today. He did make a play today. He got the interception, which really helped us pad the lead in the first half. But again, we saw the same shit where he's getting beat in coverage and he's missing tackles. It's just, even with the interception, I don't know if he was a net positive player today. I really don't. And I'm really hoping we can cut down his snaps significantly going forward. If we do not get that guy off the field very soon, I'm really going to start wondering about Pete Carroll's mental health at this point. Shout out to Shaquille Griffin. He played an incredible game, I thought, today. We did give, and I say that despite the fact that we gave up all those passing plays, but I thought Shaquille Griffin played an awesome game. I got very little bad to say about him. He did his job. He held up, but it doesn't mean much if you allow your defense to get picked on because they're just not putting guys in. They're just not putting guys in a winning position. And having KJ Wright try to cover Calvin Ridley, having Bobby Wagner try to cover Julio Jones, those are not winning plays. I can single out some guys on defense. Again, I thought Blair played an okay game. He got beat a couple times. He missed a tackle, but that's what's going to happen when you're a rookie. I thought Blair stepped up and played a pretty good game regardless. I liked what I saw from him. He did force a fumble. I don't know how much he had to do with it, but he was in on that play. Bobby Wagner had a couple nice plays out there. He had a sack, he had a quarterback hit, and he recovered the fumble that really helped us pack this game away when it was looking like it was going to get dramatic at the end. We have a defense that is making plays, but on a snap-to-snap basis, this scheme has to end. So shout out to Dan Quinn for putting his 50-million-year-old kicker out there to kick 2 long field goals in the first half. Probably couldn't have won this game without you. I mean, if he goes for it on 4th down on those 2 plays like he should have, who the hell knows what happens in this game? Shout out to Devontae Freeman for sticking the ball out for no reason at the 2-yard line and fumbling and letting us get it because without that play, this game comes down to the wire quite possibly. And yeah, it has to be said. Atlanta did a lot to help us out in this game. I'm not going to lie. And I don't even know where to go with the whole, we shut down the offense in the second half thing. On the one hand, Atlanta did not get within 1 score until there were like 80 seconds left. So it's not like we were ever in super tight danger of losing this game, but there just seems something fundamentally wrong about shutting down your offense when you have a bad defense playing in a dome against a team with offensive weapons like the Falcons. And it just felt like we just stopped playing, man. And I don't know. I can't get too mad about it because we still won and we held a 2-possession lead for the entire second half until there were 80 seconds left. But seemed like a mistake. So roast them if you want to. I'm gonna hold off on that. But yeah, this team is not showing me that they're going to be able to beat a team like the 49ers. They're not showing me they're going to be able to necessarily beat a team like the Panthers because this defense is just being put in shitty situations over and over and over again. Okay, that's 14 minutes. It was a weird game. At halftime, I really felt great. I felt like we were just going to come out, get a stop, go score again, and it was just going to be, shut it down, forget about it, it's over. But that second half did expose some of the real big flaws with this team, and right now it's really tough for me to believe that this team, the way it's playing, is going to be able to get to the highest high. All right, I'm going to stream later on. I might stream before the baseball game because I want to watch that. I don't know, but keep an eye out for it regardless. Go Hawks. We won, but there are some problems on this team, and I'm not going to believe that those problems have gone away until I see us get a win against a team like the 49ers. And right now, I don't know if that's coming. All right.